Happy Wednesday, everyone. I got a new toy to play with. I love beautiful lettering, and I desperately wanted something to help me learn how to do it. I found this on an advertisement on Facebook and decided to go with the healing version of it. It's 30 days of lettering affirmations for your healing journey. And so I will put a link to the site down below, but I wanted to show you what it's all about. It has different lettering styles. It's got like a formal print, which is that you can see it listed here: formal print, mixed upper and lowercase print, loopy script, brush calligraphy, and then on the other side it will have a flourished design. And then it gives you space to kind of put it together however you want. You can doodle, you can journal thoughts and ideas, you can just practice your lettering if you want, which is what I basically do because I'm not super good at it. I can do this. I can follow lines and do something that's already printed out, but I desperately want to learn how to do it myself. So I thought this would be a cool idea. Now, what I think is cool is on each of the days, it has a kind of a mantra that you go through. Obviously, excuse me, here on day one, it's I am resilient. And it says, even though affirmations can sometimes feel silly to say or write, they can be incredibly powerful. You may not believe them all right at first, like this one, but I bet if you think about it, you can agree that you are resilient. Now, I thought that was interesting because this one was actually kind of tough for me to write out. I don't feel resilient, even though I have been remembering some pretty major traumas from my past. I'm not who I was before I started remembering. And that person was a go getter. That person was, I will get out of the house and I will go visit people and I will make things happen. And I'm not that person anymore. And so I don't feel resilient. And I think that's an important thing to, I've spelled resilient wrong there. That's an important thing for me to come to realize, and I think that's going to be a benefit of this book, is to recognize where I still need to what areas I still need to work on, and where I need to come to the point where I recognize um, where I am in my journey. Like, this took years and years and years of me coming to the point where I was healed enough to remember. Um, I need to recognize that healing isn't going to happen overnight. Now, it's interesting practicing the lettering. In some areas, excuse me, I am, I just feel like I just don't know what I'm doing. And of course, this was the very first time. And so I really didn't know what I was doing. It looks so bad. It just looks so bad. Oh my goodness. But you know what? It'll be interesting to see. It's just a 30-day book. And so it'll be interesting to see where I started and how I will wind up. Now, I decided I really hated how that turned out. So I was just going to do something cutesy. I don't have bad handwriting, but I don't have beautiful handwriting. You know what I mean? Okay, day 2 is healing takes time, and this was what I needed to realize and recognize. It says at the beginning, I don't know if any of us were born with endless amounts of patience. I know that I always wanted to see healing and changes overnight. Of course, it doesn't work that way, and we can comfort ourselves with this reminder. Healing doesn't happen overnight. I think about the woman who touched the hem of the Savior, and suddenly, physically, she was suddenly better. And I wanted that for myself. I have really bad eczema, and I'll talk about why that's kind of important a little bit later. But I want immediate healing. I want to just be better. And the Savior, like, I had to listen to the Spirit, and the Spirit told me, Laurie, she may have been better physically, but there were so many emotional things that made it so that she had a still had a long road to go, because of the laws of the religion. She couldn't be touched for 12 years. Can you imagine not receiving a touch from anyone, from a child, from your parents, from siblings? That's now for some of us that might be a good thing because they are toxic people, but I had a very loving family, and I can't imagine not being able to touch them. I just can't. And so she did. She still had a long way to go in her healing journey. And healing does take time. Whether we want it to or not, it just takes time. As I have been doing the lettering, I have found that I really like this flourish design the most. It takes and kind of incorporates a lot of, um, oh goodness, it takes and incorporates a lot of the different styles. However, I'm not so good at it. And granted, again, this is just day two, and it's going to take me more than 30 days to really realistically be able um, to do some fun. Look at that. It just looks so bad compared. Oh, well. I will say, I think I would have liked it better if they had had lines down below to practice on, because it's one thing to just sit there and trace, and it's another thing really um, to be able to have the lines there to help. I drew a little clock at the end of time because I didn't know what to do with that funny little thing I put at the end of it. All right, I can endure hard days. This is day 3. Affirmations aren't all about pretending everything is easy and positive. Not at all. We are here to acknowledge the hard too. It is okay to allow ourselves to feel the hard emotions. All of your feelings are valid and important. Um, I can endure hard days. All of your feelings are, if you don't acknowledge and feel the feelings, they get bottled up and they present themselves in other ways. You can end up with anger issues. You can end up with physical problems. My eczema happened because when I was a child, I wasn't allowed to cry during the abuse. I wasn't allowed to say no, to acknowledge that maybe I wasn't doing good. There were days when I was viciously sick, and I was still made um, to do things. And I do want to say that none of this was by family members. This was by a neighbor across the street whose daughter I was really good friends with. And he brought other people into my life, as well as involved me in a cult, a satanic cult, I'm sorry to say. And this was between the ages of 3 and I want to say about 8 years old. It was shortly after I turned 8 that we moved, and that's when the abuse finally stopped. So I can endure hard days. There are days when the memories come back, and they, especially at the beginning, they were so bad, and remembering was so hard that I would have to sleep for hours and hours afterwards, and I was almost no good for a couple of days. And so going to work was incredibly difficult. Um, and yet, I was able to do it. I may not have been uh, the best at what I was trying to do. Um, Luckily, in my job, I have some incredible people who are just by my side through the whole thing, and they they have been just so loving. And if I just need to work in the background, then I'm allowed to work in the background. Um, just amazing, amazing people. So we can endure hard days. We already endured those hard days. It's remembering that so difficult, and yet I've already been through it. And so that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it, is I've already been through it, but going back over it is extremely hard on my body. So I think I draw a couple flowers after this. Sorry, I know that the camera angles are bad. I'm still not good at this whole thing. But those of us that have been through stuff like this, we are resilient and we can endure hard days, you know? I mean, we already did it, and so it's like we know we can keep going. Now, this was interesting. This was kind of a hard one for me to write out several times. um, says, I am my advocate. When you are trying to take care of yourself, it can be so hard to speak up with questions, concerns, or ideas. We may not feel like we have the expertise or experience to do so, but this is our journey and we deserve to play an active role. Now, as an abuse victim, I was taught that I'm not allowed to speak up. I was not allowed to tell if my body hurt or if I just didn't want to. The times that I did, I would be hurt extra because of just trying to stand up for myself. And so I spent, even though I forgot all of this, I spent most of my life hiding in the background and not telling people when I was overwhelmed. I spent most of my life trying to hide so that I wouldn't bother anybody. I still do that. It's a lesson I am struggling to unlearn, but I will say this, my husband, since I have opened up to him about what I have been remembering, because for a time I didn't want to bring this into his life. And yet, that doesn't do much good if, um, oh, my mind just went blank. It doesn't do much good if I'm going to build a relationship with him. And so once I did, he was my hero. He became my rock. He was there for me and saying, you know what, she can't handle this right now. Um, she can't go. She can't do this. She can't do that. Just leave her be. And it was like a dream come true. It really, truly was. And he um, helped me to understand that I can become my own advocate. I can stand up and just say, you know what, this I can't handle right now, and he has learned to be okay with that. Um, Next one is peace comes from within. When we can't control many of our external circumstances, it can be so easy to feel out of control. What are the words, thoughts, songs, etc., that bring you back to inner peace? Keep them close to refer to whenever you need them. Um, Peace does come from within, but I also believe peace comes from the Savior. He is our advocate, and he is the one that knows exactly what we have been through, what we have gone through. He did that when he endured the atonement for us, and and so he is the one that knows where peace can ultimately come from. So he is the one that I truly believe is where peace really, really, truly comes through. But there are things that we can do to help us become peaceful. There's controlled breathing. There's meditation. There's listening to music that brings us happiness and joy. So many things that we can do to help ourselves settle down so that we are not frantic. Oh, look at that C. That C is totally the wrong direction. This is so distracting watching this. No, I had to laugh at my S's because they do their S's a certain way, and I keep trying to make mine into the musical treble symbol. So peace comes from within. I think that's where it starts. But ultimately, pray for peace. And it may not come the way that you want it in the timing that you want it, but it will come. All right, my body is wise. It's so easy to get frustrated when things don't go right that we sometimes forget just how incredible and wise our bodies are. Find ways to tune into your body's wisdom through quiet meditation and awareness. Now, this is so interesting to me because I have eczema, and doctors keep trying to figure out why my body doesn't react to. What like cortisone and steroid ointments like it's supposed to, like it doesn't work for everybody else. And I have learned that it's because my body, the eczema shows up wherever the newest memory is coming from. So if I have a memory of somebody holding me by the wrists, my eczema shows up on the wrists. If I have somebody who is whispering angrily in my ear will react and I will get eczema around my ear. So, but your body is wise. I will find I have aches and pains in areas where, like right now, I'm having a huge problem with my hips, but the memory itself hasn't come back yet. And so I'm waiting to see what that memory is connected to. So our bodies are wise. They do know um, what they need and what um, I don't know. They just know. So listen to your body seriously and don't pay attention to my bad handwriting. One day I might be good at this. But today is not that day. So I'm going to do another one of these probably in about a month's time, and we'll see how much of a difference I can do. Anyways, everybody, make it a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.